Chapter 1 of Minn of the Mississippi. A black crow is perched on the top of a huge pine tree, and he has just come back from going north. And for years he's gone over the northern forests, and the whole time he's gone, the forests and lakes and the farms have been unchanged. And he's sitting there in the tree, and the snow or the rain starts to come and sprinkles on him, and he looks for a place to get out of the rain, and then it starts coming down harder. It came down in barrelfuls, it says, and that it formed rain spouts, and everything was drenched. The water had changed this land in the north. For millions of rains had changed the land, and through all different sorts of events like volcanic actions and glaciers and rains, and then after it all settled down, then the green plants began to grow again. When the rain stopped, the crow flew up in the air and started calling as if he were saying, "Look, the rain has stopped." And he went back to the dead pine's tip. He sat up there looking like a carving mounted against the sun-gold cloud. The marsh below had come alive with fish and birds and ducks, and so the crow went down there to get some food. There was a dead fish, and the crow and the turtle stared across the dead fish at each other. And then the crow began eating. And after a while, he heard a bunch of cawing and a black mass flying above. And he looked up. He flew up to them as if to say, "Look, there's enough food for everyone." And when he was doing that, then the crow snatched that bass and dragged it down and began eating it. Later in the season, both the crow and the turtle made a nest. The crow's nest looked very rickety, and it was made with twigs, and one wondered if the eggs would roll out of it onto the grass below. But the turtle's nest was very streamlined. She simply dug a hole in the sand, laid her eggs, buried them, and then went looking for food. She never returned to them. She would never know her children, unlike the crow, whose eggs had to be always covered and warmed by a feathered breast and protected from the rain by a wing. The crow liked the turtle's eggs and looked for the nest, but the turtle had hidden it well, and she couldn't find it. The turtle laid 3 dozen rubbery ping-pong-like eggs in this hole. Inside was the mystic silver, or what we would call the yolk. And then floating inside that sea of yolk floating inside the sea of white was the yolk. And that yolk held the special seed that would grow and become the turtle. So at one time, the seed swelled and split itself into two. And then those two both swelled and split themselves into two. And they kept multiplying like that. And they would grow, living and grow on the liquid food inside the egg. At one time it grew to look fish-like, and then it grew to look frog-like, and then it grew to look like a reptile, and it was a reptile. It was a turtle, a snapping turtle, a female snapping turtle, and that is as far as it would go. This delicate life came out of nothing, and it grew from that tiny seed, used up all of its liquid food, and before long, the turtle had swelled so big that there was no room left, and it was about to burst.